parents teach you social skills, how to talk, how to have manners. There are these children, when they come to your house, you find you are looking at them with that eye, like, hey, this one. The parents must just leave this one with me, just for one day. The third idea is, why do we need to parent? So one of the things you need to think about is parenting is actually good for your brain. So when they do studies, they find that say if a woman is pregnant and they start reading to you whilst you are in your womb, your mother and your father's relationship whilst you're in the womb actually affects you. Yes. Is it shocking? It affects you because that's what. I'll give you a simple example. Somebody could be pregnant, and because there are stressful situations, they could have a miscarriage. Do you understand? So the state you are in as you are pregnant has an influence on the fetus. So it is very important. That's why that's why it's so hard actually if you're a teen, and when you're a teen mom, you must deal with the exams, you must deal with this boy who doesn't want you. Then he wasn't really faithful to you. You were some side piece. He ran away. Now you must go to the hospital. This is stress. Now you must go through this pregnancy. So it usually has an influence on the baby. So when you're pregnant and they are reading to you, because even children know they can follow light. They know the voice. I was working with one gentleman. He says, you know what? When he used to work in the hospital, he used to notice something very interesting. So he would be working in the hospital at 8 o'clock when the generation song starts. All the kids in the hospital would keep quiet and turn. Because then the moms used to, including the food you eat, the food you eat, when you eat a variety of food, affects the appetite that your child will have. That you know, ne? Yeah. So it's that serious that even just your brain development, the fact that they're reading to you, that they're talking to you when you're pregnant, they're talking to you, you actually start realizing your mom and your dad's voice whilst you're still in the womb. So it's actually good for your brain, because then parents also, when you are born, and then the parents who read to you, the level of education that your parents have affects how you are, how you think, how you talk, how you reason. So that's good for you. Because of who they are, how they carry themselves, it helps you deal with your emotions, how to manage yourself. So it's important then to parent deliberately. The other thing is, so I'm talking about emotions. So emotionally as well, parenting helps a child how to deal with their emotions. We know 2-year-olds, they get to a shop and then they throw themselves down and then they cry for the sweet. But children are supposed to learn how to self-regulate emotionally. In fact, I think someday I was sitting here, a couple came with a child. They came with a child like the two of you. But now this child had been for an operation. So when the child walked in here, the child thought, they are going to join. So the child starts crying, because they had this experience. They can just see, this doesn't look like a good place. Okay. So then the child, when they came, we sat together, and the child couldn't take it. But then I said to the parents, let him cry. He needs to experience the same setting, but have a corrective emotional experience. So that the child was yelling, freaking out really, and but because they said the child calmed down. And it's things that parents help you do. They help you regulate. When you cry, they give you language. Oh, so why you cry? Or is it because you got hurt? You start learning a vocabulary. Oh, I'm hurt, my heart is sore, my foot is sore, no, I'm angry. Oh, are you angry? Then as you grow up, you're able to deal with your own emotions. And your parents need to be containers, because if your parents are stable, they help you, because children are very volatile, and teenagers, very volatile. So when your parents are calm, they're deliberate, they're warm, you are able to they are able to help you manage your own emotions, including anger, because it's something that your parents need to be able to tolerate. So your physical well-being, gross motor functions, fine motor skills, the writing, the playing around, So research says children go and play with their fathers for action. They want more the physical stuff, but when they want nurturing, they run to mom. So it's very important, a little feet, rub a little back, and so that contact is good for the child. And also just to do different activities, different play activities. So when your parents are deliberate about it, you become an effective parent. It's good for your financial future. Because if you're a child and your parents can provide for you, they can save for you, then they teach you the skills where you start off. You start off in a better place, especially us in our culture. We have this thing of tax, and something sounds wonderful, like I want to grow up and build my mom a house and build it's a nice idea, but it's not necessarily the best thing if you think of wealth, how wealth is generated. Because wealth is a game of time, that your parents get resources, and then when you arrive at the resources, So what happens in other spaces, what would happen is that, so you finish school and your parents would say, why don't you just stay here, or why don't you work at the office, you don't pay rent, save the money for the first year, so you can have a good down payment for your house or a car, and that already does set you up. Or if your parents say, for example, if you finish school and your parents had a flat for you, and then so when you start working, you get to say you save for 2 or 3 years. You could be a millionaire by 35. Yeah, just because your parents had the vision and the plan to and they teach you financial principle, how to work with money. So parenting is good for you and your financial well-being. Parents teach you social skills, how to talk, how to have manners. There are these children, when they come to your house, you find you are looking at them with that eye, like, hey, this one. The parents must just leave this one with me, just for one day. I'll show them, But nice kids, people like nice kids. Kids who are well behaved, the teachers like them, they're very enthusiastic, the employers like them. So to teach you how to greet, how to be nice, how to be curious, how to have a conversation. Like somebody said, a conversation is like a tennis game, Somebody says, how are you? He says, I'm fine, I had a good day, how are you? And those are things that you teach your children. The kids these days are here, And so if your children teach you social skills and you're a pleasant person, it's good for your relationship, it's good for your schooling, it's good for your work environment, it's good for making money. Because your parents would have taught you how to say, please, thank you, be a nice person, So it's good for your social skills and how to stand in society, because your parents have a name. And the name that your parents have actually helps you in the future. Some people just help you because, when I'm fana mama. When your mom wants this, da 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 da. And so who we are, how we carry ourselves actually then makes a difference for our children. My brother says, my father used to fight with people when he was young. So he says, so one time he was a man, but an older man once approached him and he said, I don't know if you understand that, Speedy. So this man says, you understand? And he's like, but he knows nothing about, so, but now it's your father used to beat us, we'll show you. Oh, you come from a family that is a musical family, a family that dealt with business as a family. So your parents just hand that over to you, which might have help us have different discussions about legacies. Do you have children and let them be their own people, or do you have children and then create empires for them? You start a business, are you want to force them there? Or do you let them? But that's things we can talk about. And also your cultural views, your political views, your spiritual understanding, your parents give you those things. Okay, so that's why parenting is very important. And